This is a full open world game. You can drive around it, crash into things, cause chaos in a living little city. And it was built by Claude Fable 5 from a single prompt, one attempt, no follow-ups, no bug fixes. I did the same thing 5 more times, 6 impossible apps, 6 one-shot prompts, and every single one either worked or it didn't on the first try. So I did the obvious thing. I ranked them worst to best, brutal, and honest, because when a model can one-shot a game like this, the only interesting question left is which of these actually holds up when you stop being impressed and start using it. Quick context before the ranking, because it changes how you should watch this. Fable 5 is the first model in a new tier above Opus, the most capable thing Anthropic has ever shipped. And the rule I gave myself was strict. Each of these 6 apps got exactly 1 prompt. If it compiled with a bug, the bug stayed. If it forgot a feature, it stayed forgotten. No babying it with follow-ups, no fixing anything by hand. That is the only way a ranking like this means anything. So everything you are about to see is the raw first answer. Let's count them down from the one that barely earned its spot to the one that genuinely rearranged how I think about building software. Number 6, the Tinder-style swipe deck. On paper, this is the weakest build in the set, and I want to be honest about why. It is a pixel art swipe card. You swipe right, you swipe left, cards fly off the screen with a little physics tilt. That is basically it. As a standalone app, it does almost nothing. If I scored it purely on how impressive the one shot was, it lands at the bottom because a swipe deck is not hard. So why is it on the list at all? Because this is the build that taught me the most important lesson in the whole video. A few weeks after I one-shot this silly deck, that exact swipe interface became the front end of a real tool I now use every single day. It generates a post in my voice every hour, drops it into this deck, and I swipe. Right means schedule and post, left means kill it. My entire posting workflow runs through a toy I built as a joke. So it ranks last as an app, but first as a reminder. The one-shot builds are not demos. They are parts on a shelf. The card physics here are the tell. Watch the tilt as a card leaves the screen, the little rotation, the way it accelerates as it exits. Fable did not just draw 2 buttons, it gave the whole thing a sense of weight in a single pass. That is the detail that made it worth keeping. Number 5, the Boom Room drum kit. Now we are into things that are genuinely fun to touch. This is a full virtual drum kit that runs in the browser, real pads, real cymbals, and here is the part that surprised me. It plays like an actual instrument. You can hit it with your keyboard, you can click the pads, the timing feels tight, and there is a little visual pulse on every hit. For a single prompt with 0 audio library specified, getting responsive, low latency sound in a browser is not trivial, and it nailed it. Why is it only number 5? Because it is a narrow build. It does one thing, it does it well, but there is no depth to explore. I played with it for about 4 minutes, I smiled, and then I closed the tab. That is the honest ceiling on a novelty instrument. Great one shot, limited reason to come back, but watch what happens when I actually play it. Each pad lights up on the hit, the sound triggers with basically no delay, and you can build a rhythm without the timing falling apart. That responsiveness is the whole game with a browser instrument, and it is exactly the thing that usually breaks. If you have ever wanted to prototype a music toy, this is the proof that you can have a working one in the time it takes to write a sentence. Number 4, Dustline, the rally driving stage. This one is a step up because it combines real physics with real feel. It is a top-down rally car on a dirt stage, and it drifts. When you turn hard, the back end slides out, kicks up dust, and catches grip again on the way out of the corner. That drift model is doing actual work under the hood, and Fable 5 wrote all of it in one pass. Driving it genuinely feels good, which is the hardest thing to get right in a game, and the thing cheaper models almost always fumble. So why does it sit at number 4 and not higher? Because the world around the driving is thin. There is a stage, there is a car, and that is the whole experience. No progression, no stakes, no reason to keep going after a few laps. It is a beautiful mechanic without a game wrapped around it. Look closely at a single corner though. I brake, the weight shifts forward, I turn in, and the rear steps out into a controlled slide before the tires bite again on exit. Nobody told it how a car should behave. It reasoned its way to a believable drift model from one sentence. As a demonstration that this model understands physics and feel, not just layout, it is one of the most convincing builds in the set. Number 3, the Creator Intelligence Dashboard. Now we cross the line from toys into tools. This is a real dashboard that pulls my actual channel statistics and lays them out. Views, trends, video performance, all rendered into clean cards and charts from a single prompt. And it is not a mock-up with fake numbers. It wired up to real data and displayed it in a layout I would actually keep open. This is the first build in the ranking that solves a real problem I have, which is why it clears the entire bottom half. Why not top 3 material higher? Because a dashboard, however clean, is a solved category. Plenty of tools show you your numbers. What Fable did here is impressive because it did it in one shot with no design direction, but it is not reinventing anything. It is doing a known job extremely well and extremely fast. For a creator or an operator, that speed is the point. The thing you would normally pay a monthly fee for, sitting on your laptop as a file you own from one prompt. And notice the layout choices as it scrolls. The numbers are grouped the way you would actually read them. The most important metric sits top left where your eye lands first, and nothing is fighting for attention. That is editorial judgment about data, not just charting, and it did it without a single instruction about hierarchy. Number 2. Takumi, the luxury watch storefront. This is the build that made me sit back. I asked for a storefront and it produced something that looks like a site an agency would charge $5,000 to design. A full luxury watch shop, hero section, product grid, detail pages, the typography, the spacing, the restraint. It looks expensive. And that word, restraint, is exactly why it ranks this high. Most AI-generated design overdoes everything. Gradients everywhere, too many fonts, buttons that glow for no reason. This did the opposite. It made quiet, confident, premium choices, the kind a senior designer makes in a single pass with no back and forth. The move this unlocks is real. Write down every tool and every service you pay for that is really just a nice interface over a simple idea and ask which of them is one prompt away from being yours. Takumi is the proof that the answer for a lot of them is a storefront that costs you one sentence. The only reason it is not number 1 is that a storefront, however gorgeous, is static. The winner does something a static site never could. Number 1, City Rampage, the open world game from the cold open. This is the build that genuinely rearranged my expectations. It is a top-down open world. There is a city with a road network, there are buildings, there are vehicles, there is a physics system, and you can just exist in it and cause chaos. Drive around, crash, watch things react. In a single prompt, Fable 5 held all of that in its head at once. The map, the movement, the collisions, the camera that follows you, the feel of the car in the world. That is not one system, it is 5 systems that all have to agree with each other, and it wrote them so they do. This is the ceiling of what one-shot building means right now. Not a component, not a page, an entire interactive world that runs. When I saw this actually load and drive, I understood that the gap between having an idea and having a running thing you can touch has basically collapsed for a huge class of software. That is why it is number one. Everything else on this list is impressive. This one is a little bit of a glimpse of the future. So that is the ranking. 6 worth playing, from the swipe deck that taught me parts beat demos up to a full open world game from one sentence. But here is the honest closer, because ranking them is only half the lesson. The real question is not which build is best, it is when to reach for a model this powerful at all. 2 days ago, Anthropic shipped Sonnet 5, and it is 5 times cheaper than Fable. So my rule now is simple. Everyday work, routine code, scripts, boilerplate, that all goes to the cheaper model. Fable gets 2 jobs only. The hardest one-shot builds, the stuff at the edge of what is possible, exactly like the game you just watched. And the long context judgment calls that need real taste. Knowing which jobs deserve the expensive model is the whole difference between a power user and someone burning money. If you want to start a business using AI agents, check out our community in the description down below, and check out this video right here where I gave Fable 5-6 impossible prompts and built every one of these apps one shot each, start to finish. Click it on the screen right now.